If you look at the world today, the tribulations, the trials, every war that we have, every bit of suffering all over the world, it's rooted in human hearts. The reason that people aggress against other people is out of diseases of the heart, covetousness, desire, the desire to conquer, the desire to exploit other people, the desire to steal their natural resources. All of these things are from diseases of the heart. A diseased heart cannot do that. Every murderer, every rapist, every idolater, every foul person, every cruel person, every person that shows any act of cruelty, all of this is emanating from diseased hearts. If the hearts were sound, none of these actions would be a reality. And therefore, if we want to change our world, we don't change the world by attempting to rectify the outward. We change the world by rectifying the inward, because the inward precedes the outward. Everything that we see outside of us is in reality coming from the unseen world. It's from the unseen world that the phenomenal world emerges, and it's from the unseen realm of our hearts that all actions emerge. And so if we want to rectify our actions, we have to first rectify our hearts. Now, one of the things that the Muslims of the modern world really fail to recognize is that all of the things that are happening to us, all of these terrible things that we're seeing, it seems that we don't want to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, why are these things happening to us? And if we ask that in all sincerity, the answer will come back in no uncertain terms that this is all from our own selves, that we have brought all of this upon ourselves. And this is the only empowering position that we can take, and this is why this is the Quranic position. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says quite clearly that He makes the oppressors, some of them, He puts over others. In other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that some of the oppressors, we put them over other oppressors because of what their hands were earning. And what that verse is telling us is that, according to Fakhruddin al-Razi, radiallahu anhu, he says that this means that whenever there's oppression in the earth, it's a result of other people's oppression. So those people who are aggressed upon are in fact being aggressed upon because of their own oppression. Now, this is obviously not the case for tribulation. There are definitely times when mu'minun are tried, but if they respond accordingly with patience and perseverance, Allah will always give them victory. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca. There's no doubt that they were being oppressed, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them victory. Within 23 years, the Prophet ﷺ was not only not oppressed, he had conquered the entire Arabian Peninsula. And all of those people were begging mercy from him. Even though they deserved to be recompensed with punishment, the Prophet ﷺ forgave them. And this is the difference between somebody who's purified, whose heart is pure, and somebody whose heart is impure. The impure people oppress, and the pure people not only forgive their oppressors, but they actually conquer them by the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they elevate them. They actually elevate them to a state. And this is what Muslims have to recognize, that we have to purify ourselves.